Go through Uber or Lyft, or take cash rides and cut out Uber and Lyft entirely. Hey everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to the Rideshare Guy. Over the last several weeks, more and more drivers are trying to get riders to pay cash for rides instead of going through the apps of Uber and Lyft. Now, there are several reasons why drivers are trying to do this. Higher gas prices, lower rates, Uber and Lyft taking more take than what they should. There's a lot of different reasons here. If you want to see some more description on that, make sure you check out some of our other videos. But let's talk about cash rides outside of Uber and Lyft. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. That's going to be up to you. I'm going to give you the risks and some of the rewards. But again, you want to make sure you keep the risks in mind. And this all stems from a Reddit post that, if you see on the screen right now, it says increase in drivers asking for direct payment to avoid Uber. And it says, so I take Uber to and from work and often get around to random places in my personal time. Over the last few weeks, I've had 5 separate drivers ask me if I'd mind if they canceled a ride, and I paid them directly via Zelle or cash or something like that. I've declined every single time for a few different reasons. And they say the employer pays for the work rides and there needs to be a record of them, want the reward points. And if there's an accident, go from being an Uber passenger to just some random guy in the car. Now, there are several reasons why a driver would ask for a cash ride over going through Uber and Lyft. And we'll go over a couple of the overall reasons why. But again, if you want to know the details of those reasons or know a little bit more, make sure to check out some other videos as they will talk much more in detail about those specific issues. First, Uber and Lyft's take. Uber and Lyft have been taking more and more and more of the fare. It's averaged to see 40, 50, 60, 70% of the fare going to Uber or Lyft versus the driver. Higher gas prices and rates are staying stagnant, meaning they're not going up to reflect what the gas prices are. Uber and Lyft might be charging more because of dynamic pricing and surge pricing and things like that, but it doesn't reflect necessarily to what the driver's making. The pay rates are still going to be the same. They just might be a little bit different if there is some sort of dynamic pricing attached to that particular ride. Another one is lowering pay rates so that mileage and time that the driver is getting paid could be lower and lower, meaning they have to work a lot more in order to receive the same amount of money that they were making prior to those cuts. And again, with prices rising, that is just coupling up more disaster. And the last one we'll highlight in this video, even though there will be several more, and if you think of any, make sure to comment below on why you would rather take a cash ride versus going through Uber and Lyft. This would be, well, Uber and Lyft don't care about their drivers. At least they've shown it several times over and over and over again. So why should drivers give a crap about Uber and Lyft as a company and if they're even going to make money? And that was the dynamic and the relationship that Uber and Lyft both put forward when it came to riders, when it came to drivers, when it came to the company itself. But now let's ask the question, should you do a ride off the app? Well, the answer is really going to be up to you and if you want to do it. Now, the thing is, there are several risks when doing cash rides outside of Uber and Lyft. There's a lot of things that you'll need to know. So we're just going to go over that and you can make your best decision if you want to take cash rides or if you're going to stick with something like just Uber and Lyft. Now, first off, one of the risks is it could be illegal. So you need to know if your area has some sort of law or some sort of insurance that you need to have or license that you need to have in order to be able to take cash rides or be a ride for hire. You'll have to go on a state or local website and find out how to do rides for hire the right way in terms of having the proper insurances, having any proper license that you may need, and see if there's anything else that you need to fulfill in order to be able to give cash rides. Now, there are certain apps out there that could allow you to book rides with people. But again, it's going to run into the same issues because this unfortunately does not provide the proper insurances. Uber and Lyft have the proper insurances and license, and all of that's in place in order to be able to give rides without having the particular driver have all of these extra things like the proper insurance, the proper license, and all that. Another reason is for having the proper insurance is your personal insurance does not cover commercial purposes. Anytime you use your vehicle to create some sort of income, that is a commercial purpose. Your personal insurance will not cover you during those times. Some insurance policies may even have a rider in them that say you can't use your car for commercial purposes at all. And if they find it out, they could drop you. Now, your personal insurance and Uber and Lyft's insurance are at odds with each other as well. We've done a video talking about gap insurance, some of the things when it comes to personal insurance and driving with Uber and Lyft. So make sure you check that video out as well, too, if you have any questions when it comes to insurance, personal insurance, and when it comes to driving for Uber and Lyft. Another thing about doing rides outside the app when it comes to Uber or Lyft, especially if the ride originated from Uber or Lyft, is it's against their terms of service. And because of that, it could lead to a deactivation. Earlier this year, the Las Vegas Review-Journal had an article that was talking about how 40 vehicles were impounded for drivers illegally offering rides for cash. And Las Vegas has a very strict policy when it comes to cash rides. They don't allow it. That's the reason why you want to make sure you check your local and state laws regarding cash rides and how to give them properly so something like that won't happen to you. There's also many different reports out there that are talking about how police are using undercover police in order to pose as potential cash rides and try to flag down rideshare drivers to see if they'll take rides for cash. If they do, they could get ticketed or they could get their car impounded as well. So again, make sure you check everything in order to make sure you're giving the ride properly if you so choose. Another risk is if you don't have the proper insurances and you get into an accident, well, you could be opening yourself up for a real can of worms in the event that the person in your car decides to try to sue you. Your insurances might drop you. They might not pay for anything when it comes to the damages. There's a lot of different things there when it comes to giving cash rides on personal insurance. Now, those are a few of the facts and risks when it comes to giving cash rides outside the Uber and Lyft app. But now let's hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that drivers should be allowed to give cash rides? Do you think that Uber and Lyft need to change their ways in order to make it less appealing for cash rides? Do you think that drivers should have the ability or option to create a cash ride business if they have the proper insurance and license and everything? What's your thoughts? Comment below, let us know. All right, if you made it this far to the video, make sure to smash that like button. Also, subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time new videos do come out. All right, everyone, drive safe.